All right, the next song we're going to talk about is The Wolf, and this is a personal favorite of mine because it's just sort of dongs out. Like, it doesn't really mess around too much trying to be something it's not. It just kind of comes out the gate and does what it does, and I like that a lot about it. And it's one of the more aggressive songs that we have. Clearly, you know, he obviously comes from aggressive music as far as, you know, his career and where it's taken him so far. And I grew up on that. I've always been a fan of that, Queens of the Stone Age, stuff like that, where it's a little more sentimental, but it's still angry and it's still got, you know, dissonance to it. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, the process of watching that song evolve in the studio and kind of come to life was one of my favorite out of that whole experience. Mm-hmm. Because it's like we knew what it was before we were going into it, and that it didn't need a whole lot of reworking, but seeing that thing pieced together, and you know, I'll never forget the first time we played it at the board. I just like new trousers, you know what I mean? I couldn't even handle it.
It was really funny because Bendis wasn't too sure about this song, and it was a song that was definitely written around the riff, like the guitar. Like, I'll never forget me and you actually sitting in here, which is where we are right now, which is where we did a lot of the demos, and just it was like, you know, the vocal was the last thing I was going to think about because I was so into playing guitar. And just the song just moved me. I didn't even care about the vocal until literally we got to the studio and I started reworking it all. And it was one of those songs where I kind of just went in and I changed a few things. My ideas changed once we changed the guitar too. We did lo-fi guitars, mostly fuzzed out Fox through Figma. And then there's some hi-fi guitar on top, which I love, has that Queens of the Stone Age feel, like he was saying. And, you know, and I just went in and I was like, yeah, I got these vocals. And this was like, all right, you know, I didn't think it was going to be one of those songs. And then when it was done, I were just walking off, and I was on the phone, and I remember Steven and Brian's one of the engineers, just come in like, dude, you got to hear this. After they mixed it a little bit, and the vocal just, that I just tracked, I remember just going like, oh, well, there it is. Yeah. You know, there's the song. And it's one of my favorites to play live. It's another song, changed the bridge completely in the studio, and the, you know, the reprised third chorus outro kind of feel wasn't there either on the demo. And it's
one of my favorite choruses from the whole record.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just those little things, you know, like the gut instinct of that melody was the first melody I wrote for that song. And it was kind of a joke, and I changed it to something way more off from what it is now, and it was way darker and not as obvious. And then when I went back and tracked it that way, and it was like, that's it. And it, you know, it's one of those life lessons where sometimes you gotta trust your gut, and your first instinct's normally right. You see this all the time. You can paint a picture 1,000 different ways and add a million different things, but sometimes those things don't necessarily make it better. You know, you can repaint the same picture 500 times and it gets worse every time.
It's just more.
So sometimes,
really better.
Yeah, just go with your gut, and that's what we did with this song. It's my favorite to play live. One of my favorites to listen to in my car. I'm like, yeah, that's nice.
In your head moving.
Yeah. And yeah, that's The Wolf.
The Wolf.